Today I'm going to start the design project. I gave you a copy of this. It's also posted on Blackboard. This is a project where this class divides up into 3 teams of 6 people each, and your team designs a glider. And the goal is to stay up in the air as long as possible. That is the time aloft. And so we'll have a lecture on that either today or next time about gliders and gliding flight. The project requires group meetings in class just so that you can share information and figure out how you're going to communicate. One of those is today. So if you're here today, which I think everybody is, you've satisfied that. And we'll break up into groups here in just a few minutes. The next one is Friday, November 6th, so that's this coming Friday. Or Wednesday, November 11th, which will be the date of the next quiz. And you're required to be here for at least 2 of those 3 times. Shouldn't be a problem because everybody is here today. Everybody should be here for the quiz next Wednesday. There's 2 parts to turning this in, actually 3 parts. Number 1 is a report that your group writes, and each person in the group writes a 1-page part of that report about their role. So that's part 1. Part 2 is a presentation by your group in class on November 18th. So that's the Wednesday before Thanksgiving break. And then you will fly your gliders and demonstrate it on Friday before we go on Thanksgiving break. You must be here on those days to present with your group and also when your group flies. And then after that, I won't see you again. Everybody goes home for Thanksgiving break and we go online after that. Explain 9, which is what I've done the demo in, is available on computers in this lab on the 3 monitor table. You log in with username and password given here, or you can download the demo version yourself and run it on your PC at home. PlaneMaker runs perfectly fine on the demo version. When you go to flying, you'll need to come in here unless you buy a version of Explain 9. So make sure you use Explain 9 because that's compatible with the menus and everything I've shown you. And it's also what we'll be flying the airplane on. If you design your airplane in 10, 11, or 12, it's not backward compatible to 9. There's some formulas here. Your goal is to maximize the time aloft, and I'll show you where this formula comes from in a lecture, probably next time, because we have to have time for you guys to get together today. And you will be started 1,000 feet above ground at Wichita Mid-Continent Airport, runway 01 left, VFR final. I'll show you in a demo how I'll set you up for that when you get ready to fly. And then you go and we'll time how long you stay in the air before you hit the ground. So you're limited to a weight of 4,000 pounds. I'll give you a wing efficiency factor for your drag calculations. Fundamentally, all of the lift and drag equations go into the sine of theta, which is the angle that you're gliding at. And here's a formula that you will use to calculate the weight of your airplane. It includes the weight of the wing, the weight of the horizontal tail, the vertical tail, and the pilot. So you need to put whoever is flying the airplane in for the weight here. And then remember in X-plane, we have to specify a center of gravity CG location. Here's the formula that tells you what to enter there. You must enter the value you get from this formula. And so if your CG turns out to cause problems with the airplane flying, you need to adjust the things in this formula to change your CG. Here's how you calculate a drag coefficient that goes into X-plane. There's a formula here for CDF, and you enter that in the fuselage window when you're designing your airplane. On the computers here, there's a temporary directory where you can store your aircraft. It's called AE324. Please erase your airplanes when you leave here. Just consider it your intellectual property for your group. If you leave it here, anybody can access it and steal your design. The roles of each team member are listed here. There's essentially a team captain who does design integration and sales. And so they lead the group, make sure the group gets together and functions well. And they put together the report and help organize the team's oral presentation. That doesn't mean you give the entire presentation. Your entire team should give their part of the presentation. You're just organizing it and keeping everybody on track. And you're also responsible for collecting the one-page reports from each group member and putting them together and turning them in as a package. The next team member, number 2, does the wing aerodynamics. So essentially you're designing the wing. And the horizontal tail and vertical tail. You're doing the aerodynamics of that. Team member number 3 designs the fuselage, does the drag coefficient calculation, and also paints the airplane to make it look good. Structures, weight and balance, calculates the weight and the CG location, and designs the landing gear on the airplane. Number 5 designs the cockpit and pilots the aircraft. So the pilot will be the person that does this, that flies the airplane. Make sure you pick somebody that is comfortable flying. Don't default to somebody that doesn't know what else they want to do. This is pretty key, obviously, to flying the airplane and doing a good job. Also, I encourage you, for obvious reasons, have the pilot practice a lot. Occasionally a group will come in and the pilot will have been kind of not participating in the group as much as he should have or she should have. And they won't have practiced, and it's a disaster. Performance, number 6, calculates performance, that is lift, drag, time aloft, and helps optimize the flight and helps the pilot fly the aircraft. That is, he says, well, I want you to fly this way or that way to get the best performance. Here, you need one of these. Kayla. So as I said, there's a report at the end of this. Each group member must write a one-page summary. And then those all get collected by the team captain and put together. When you write, correct use of English language and clear communication will be part of the grade. So make sure you pay attention to the dates that this is happening and the dates of the mandatory meetings here. And the rest of the information and the formulas are all on here. And on the very last page are the groups that you belong to. So before we split up, I'll give you a minute to look through that and find out what group you're in. And while we're doing that, I'm going to call out names and hand back the previous quiz. And then we'll form into groups after that. Bruno, Sergio, Jackson. Jackson here? Nang. Oh, sorry. Kyle. Weston. Peyton. Peyton Lynn. John. Oliver. Prajakta. Robert. Angel. Jaspel. Pierce. Pierce White. Kayla. Ramses. Let's see, Jackson, Peyton, and Jaspel. So let's get groups together. Again, when you're doing this, don't huddle up, get close together. We're still maintaining social distancing. Keep your mask on. But let's have group one meet down in this area over here. In other words, pull some chairs and spread out in a big circle here so that you're maintaining some social distancing. So group one over here. Let's do group two out in this big space here. Maybe around this table if you want. Pull some chairs out here, keep well apart. And then group three way back here in this open space here. All right? And again, keep some distance between your chairs. And your job today is to figure out who is doing what role and write down names and give that to me at the end of the day. The name of the people and what role they're doing in the group design project, and write that down on a piece of paper and hand that to me before you leave today. See, I see 5 people here. Who's not here? Let's see, Bruno, right? You're group 1, right? Peyton? Peyton, that's right, he didn't chime in. Sounds like 2 people are missing here. I'm kind of surprised. Who? Jaspel? I know he was here for the quiz.
Was Ivers here for the quiz?
No, I just saw Jaspel got up and left. I don't. So Jackson Ivers is not here.
Yeah, right now he's not here. I don't know if he was here during the quiz or what.
I didn't see anybody leave but one person. I'll have to look. Okay. We'll make a call if you're still missing people at the next meeting. Then we'll figure out how to split up the job between you guys.
How do you pronounce it? Jaspel? I have his number, so I can text him.
Yeah, connect up with him, but remind him he needs to be here the next 2 times. Okay. Just checking in. You guys are all here.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
My name's Angel. I guess I'm going to be your guys' team leader, and we're ready to start. All right. So who is number 2?
Me. My name's Kyle. I'm designing all of these links.
Kyle Randolph.
Yes, sir.
Oh God, why'd you have Kyle? All right. 3.